What's going on, everybody? Go here, go home. Welcome to GVO After Dark. Today, we normally do the GVO After Dark at the end of the month. It's normally me and Mark. Mark is busy. Something about, school stuff. I don't know. But he couldn't make it tonight. So instead, I thought that I would work on my yard. And I'll do that live because I have quite a bit to do, and I'd like to get started on that sooner than later. I feel like I've put everything on hold just so I could wait for the show, so I have lots to show you and, lots that I can take you through as I'm building the yard. You guys know that I've done phase 1 and then phase 2. You saw me last month kind of working on that, doing a lot of the cork, going around the corner. I had to get right up into the layout in order to actually even reach it, which was a struggle. But that's okay, because now I can lay a whole bunch of track and some switches and hopefully run a train at some point, because I would like to run a train. Before we get started, of course, I do want to say hi to everybody who took the time to show up today. Trackside Mike, you do get the Timbits because you were the early bird that got the worm, I guess. Or in this case, the Timbit. And then we've got Brian Ferguson, Wigwag, Ronald, Floyd, Dwight. We also have Todd, how's it going? John, Anthony, James, Split Rock, whoa, there's a name I haven't seen in a while. Chris May, how's it going? Everybody came to hang out and have a good time. Well, would you look at that? And Sparky, how's it going, Sparky? Long time no see. There was a couple of us that had dinner not too long ago. It was Sparky and Sean. They came up from the Toronto area with why does I'm so bad with names. Give me a second. I will remember. Oh man. That's what happens when you're put on the spot, right? And you're really bad with names. Wow. I can't believe that his name is escaping me already. Nathan, there we go. Wow, thank you. I would not have slept tonight. Nathan, yes. So the three of them came up from Toronto, and they had dinner with Mark, M&M Rails, and myself. And we had a good time, and it was good to see them. And it was awesome that Nathan got to come up right from the States there, and he hung out for a few days. And unfortunately, I don't have much of a layout, so the guys didn't really come by here. We just kind of went out to dinner. But it was nice to see everybody and hang out. Yep. Who else do we have? Did I miss anybody? If I missed anybody, I'm sorry. Okay, so yeah, normally we do a live show every Thursday. If it's not myself, which I normally do the second week, it's Denny, and that's N-Scale Dystopia. He usually has the first Thursday of the month. I have the second, like I said. Mark has the third week, and then we're usually here collectively on the last week for GV After Dark. Like I said, going to take a different approach. I could go on about those prices of N-Scale locomotives that are that are getting announced, but you don't want to hear that. So instead, we will do some track work. How does that sound? So as far as the way my yard goes and whatnot, and I'm going to kind of show you here. So this is where I'm kind of at as far as with my track. So none of this is attached yet. And I do have to solder this, and I'll probably have to solder that as well. But I'm going to run my main line. This is probably the most important line here, because this goes right up to my Y, and I only need a little piece for that. And then I can run my other lines here that do go to some switches that go into my giant reversing loop section, which is kind of cool. So I will be needing to work that out. The way I've kind of decided how I'm going to do this, because I do have to make some cuts eventually to decide where my reversing section is going to be and how I'm going to wire it, because I haven't really wired any of this yet. I can come back and I can do that after. I just can't really run any trains until I cut those certain areas, right? So it's a bit of a process, but I'm sure that we can get this going here. So first and foremost, I got some track on here, and before I even nail this whole section down, because what I'm going to do is, this is going to be my main track. And I've got my spacers, but I need the one track down first before I can, kind of adjust how I want my second track, and then my third track, and my fourth track. I've got my ghetto blocks here. These are not really an invention. I just didn't want to spend the $29.95 for the other spacer things. So I made some ghetto blocks, which will basically be my rail, my center rail spacing. It's a 2-inch centers, and it rides right along the rails like this. So depending on how I lock this one down, this one will follow in suit with that, and then so on and so forth. So I'm going to use those after. But I want to make sure that this is down and this is set properly so that it goes right down the center here. And how I normally do this, got my little drill with my little drill bit. And I'm going to switch hats for a second here, because actually, you know what? I might not even need to wear the hat. I can probably just do this. Yeah, that's not too bad. I don't have any lights over here, so I have to make do with an alternative. And I don't feel like wearing a toque indoors, so. So I space these out. I don't have to do, too many. It's just to hold this in place for now. And because this is Pico Code 100, there isn't pre-drilled holes. So I gotta drill all my own holes just for these nails. And I go every, 10 centimeters or so. So this is fun. I really need to find somebody that'll come and help me with my layout, because there's so much to do. Now the reason why I'm doing nails this time is mostly because on my last layout I did glue. Like I would lay the track, put the glue on, let it dry, and to be honest, it's way harder to remove track and whatnot once it's been glued down. I mean, you can do it. It's not impossible. But for those times where you move, then yeah, you're kind of stuck, and you know, reusing the track is not as easy. So that's a big part of why I'm using the nails this time around, just in case. I should attach another track to this other side here. Where's my knife? Now this is the Y section here, and typically I don't use Ys. Why? Because I try to keep things simple. And reversing loops and stuff like that tend to get into a bit more of the, you know, tougher side of things. But I'm okay with a challenge, you know, here and there. And I got an AR1 from Digitrax. AR1 being the auto reverser. And they make it sound very easy. And it was very easy until I talked to Daveco, because Dave is like wicked when it comes to electronics. So he has a couple on his layout, because he's got two reversing loops. One's right above the other one. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll talk to Dave, because, like, you know, he's like a guru when it comes to wiring. But, like, he gave me the complex version of what I should do. And I'm like, oh, is there an easy version? Sign me up for the easy version. So I'm hoping that I can still do the easy version of this and get away with it, because it's totally based off of how long is your longest train, and it has to be able to fit inside that section. Now, when I think about it, and when I think about the longest train I have, I mean, you know, I can make them pretty long. Freight is usually, you know, pretty decent. Then you get someone like Bubs that comes over and he has like 50 some odd cars that are potash. Will he be able to run a 50 car potash train on my layout? Probably not. I don't think he'd be mad about that. I think, you know, there has to be some sort of limit. But when I look at passenger trains, because I do run a lot of passenger stuff, I'll run a 6-car passenger train, you know, 1 loco or maybe even 2 locos sometimes, depends, really depends. And most of those are about 6 feet long. I know this because I made 6-foot long display shelves and they fit perfectly. There was even room to spare. Coupler to coupler. So I know 6 feet is a decent length for a passenger train. And that works for both Via, Go, whatever. So I'm not too worried about that. It's mostly the freight. The reverse section that I have is anywhere between 12 feet and 16 feet. 12 to 16, I think. I think 16 was max overkill. But yeah, so should be doable if I just do it at the section where it is just the rounded part of the layout. The teardrop part. I call it a teardrop because it's literally the shape of a teardrop. So this is, I'm going to move this back a bit so you can see here what I'm working on. Does that make sense? Oh yeah. Yeah, so this is the top, right? And typically you need to have, a cut somewhere here, and then there's a whole situation I've got going on, and this is typically how I got it laid out. So it goes like this, and I'm doing the track that goes into here. He was saying to cut all these like right around here, including this one, and then have them completely separate from these ones. So you come in on these, and then you leave out on the rest of these. But I might just cut it right here and here, because this loop is, pretty big already. I don't know yet though. So I'm gonna build this all, and then I think I'll just factor in that stuff when I cut the tracks and I do the wiring. I'm gonna use code 100, but I've got these medium switches here, which are really good, and I've got them all side by each here, and I've got a few sections here where I just need to solder a couple of little pieces together, and then I'm basically just filling it in with flex track at that point. Now, because of the whole GVO After Dark and, all that stuff, next week, next Thursday, because we're going into April, we start the thing all over again. And we've got Denny next week from N-Scale Dystopia. So he will be live next Thursday. And he's gotten really far on his layout. It's crazy how much he's progressed over the last month or two. He already has the foam. Yeah, a little smoke. It's just because of the solder here. Nothing's melting or anything. I know people will, they put cotton swabs, the wet cotton swabs on there and whatnot. This isn't hot enough to do any damage. Have it turned down a bit, so it'll melt the resin here, or the flux, but you know, and soldering is one of those things that I was always like, oh, what if I can't do it? And it turns out to be, you know, pretty easy. It's not difficult. You just got to make sure you have a good soldering iron, the right solder as well, of course. Trains by Perry. How's it going, Perry? So I'm just taking some of these rail joiners now. I'm going to put them on the ends of all these. Whoop. Because we're going to hopefully get this yard, not the whole yard finished. Jeez, I don't think I'm that quick. Especially because I'm talking during all this. It's going to be a little difficult to get it all done in a short amount of time. But you'll see a decent amount here that gets done. And I'm going to keep going till I'm, you know, keep going until I'm done. Because how you get it done. Don't quit, don't stop. I like the smell of solder. I don't think it's weird. Yeah, it's funny because most recently I purchased some wood and I had to cut some wood down here and whatnot. And then I come down the next day and it smells like, you know, the smell of freshly cut wood. And I'm just like, I love that smell. Freshly cut wood. I don't think there's a better smell. I mean, the solder is, you know, up there, but freshly cut wood. That's my vice right there. Okay, so put that right back there. All right, so I do need a short piece for in here. And I do need a couple more joiners. Let's switch back over this way. Also, just in case you guys don't know, I'm sure you do know, but I'm going to tell you anyways. I get all my stuff from Otter Valley, all my track switches. Most of my trains have come from Otter Valley, rail cars. You know, if it's available and they get it, I've got it from them. The odd time you know, if they don't have it available, I will get from other places. But they're usually pretty good. They usually carry what I need. So, but that was my little promo, I guess you could say. Was that a 10? I think that was a 10. Oh, you know what? When I ordered some stuff from them recently, because obviously I track and switch it, I ordered it, it was shipped, and then I got it the next day, which I'm pretty sure is a record of some sort. So good on them for even getting this stuff out the door and move that much quicker. I'm pretty sure I receive it by the time, like, quicker than my wife notices that I've purchased something, which is always great. So I take off 3 from here. Always keep your sleepers. My back has been hurting something fierce lately, let me tell you. Getting older is not fun. I remember when I was younger, I would watch, you guys ever see the movie This Is 40? Well, hilarious. Turning 40 is not as funny as that movie. So, yeah. Kind of a disappointment, but... Running water, yes. I also have a spa down here. So it's like, you know, rainforest sound. No, there's like a pipe right there, and I'm pretty sure... What time is it? It's after 8 o'clock. Yeah, it's probably shower night for the kids, and they're doing their routine before they go to bed. Jen, how's it going? So I'm just cleaning up the ends here because these are the ends that I cut, and they're going to go right into that Y. And I'm just hoping that it works. And I hope it was a good cut. Oh, wrong one. There we go. So I'm going to move this for a minute because that's really hot. It's like every time I sit down, it's like the pain in my back. It feels like I get winded just by like sitting down. Stupid back problems. Okay, there's one. So it turns out I filed it pretty good. Especially that goes in that easily. Nice. Now I should have a layout update coming out real soon. Probably early next month, I think. Just some stuff around here that I've been working on. Also, my son has his Lego layout, and he's been wanting me to show you guys a bit of an update with that too. He got some new stuff for his birthday, because his birthday is this month, so he got some new Lego stuff, and he's going to be adding that to his Lego city as well. So I'll be sure to include all the new stuff with his Lego update. Look at that. Perfection. Kinda. So I'm just going to adjust that a little bit because I want those in the center. That's in the center. It's almost as if I've done this once or twice. Solder, actually, it reminds me of shop class, because I used to take welding when I was in high school. And you walk into the welding class, and it has that very distinct smell. Much like shop class, you know, woodworking. Rail Artist, how's it going? Great Lakes Rail Division. Anybody else I missed? Ow. Yeah, that rail was still hot apparently. Did you guys start a burn counter? I've already been burned once, so. I'll let you know as it happens. I won't have to let you know because you'll know. Keeping in mind we're soldering on the outside of the rail. I don't know if there's any first timers in here, but if it is your first time, solder on the outside, not on the inside. I refuse to put on the toque. It's too hot. Especially if I'm soldering and all this. Okay, so there's that. Then I can go... See, there's this building that I need to build, and I was thinking to myself, I'm like, I could go out and buy a new kit and kind of convert it into it, or I can use a kit that I already have. And I'm starting to think that that chocolate factory that I got might be a perfect kit to convert into this other building that I'm thinking of. I haven't fully decided yet, but it's been on my mind. You guys remember the chocolate factory? We did that thing as a team. There was a few of us working on it. Kris, check your phone. Question is killing me. I can't check my phone because then if I exit this, then or can I? Hold on, let me check. If I leave the app, the stream might close for a second, so bear with me. Yeah, sorry. So to answer your, well, because Sparky asked a question. So basically, yeah, I had to exit the app on my phone, which kind of ends things temporarily with these. Sorry about that. So Sparky was asking me what type of rail joiners I'm using, basically, and where. What I'm going to do is I'm going to connect everything, so even the round sections and all that, all with the metal rail joiners. And then once I decide where I'm isolating the sections, I'm going to come back, I'm going to cut, and I'm going to slip in a plastic rail joiner, or the, what do they call them? The nylon insulating rail joiners. So I'll be able to do that after. I just want to make sure that all my curves are good, everything is in place, and everything is secured down. And then as soon as I go to, do all that stuff and do the wiring, I'm going to have it all in place. Hey, Anthony, how's it going? Welcome back, everybody. We don't have to do a blame Sparky. I chose to do that, so no worries. But yeah, just if you guys have any questions, just hit me up. not through text message, but So we're like what? We're right here now. Maybe I do need to wear this hat. Oh my gosh, I can't see. I think lighting will probably be the next thing that I do in this section. Because now that I have my second level more or less built, add lighting. And because I have to come from that way now. So some of these aren't down all the way, which is fine. I'm going to come back and I'm going to hit them in. Okay, so this is where it gets a little tricky, and I might have to move you back a bit here, just so that you're not totally getting in my way. How do you make your curves without those track guides? Without? I use these things. Remember what Mike was showing everybody when he was talking about doing curves? I don't know where mine is right now. I use a long wooden stick and, you know, I do the curve thing. So what I did, I'm going to show you here, before all this was here and it was all just flat land, I found the center, and I put a piece of wood from the center with a pin or a pen on the end at a specific measurement. I believe this one is 29 inches. And I drew the center line all the way around. So once I drew the center line all the way around, and you can kind of see it here, because I made a full circle. The circle is like, it goes in here and everything, like comes around and, you know. So that was my full loop. So from the straight section, which is, about, you know, there, I just decided to have it come up here because I knew that it would be going to this track here. Because this is the main track, it's going to go, so I had it curve into this as well. So all my curves are done with the giant, you know, stick of wood with the pen in it. You go, you know. So that's how I determine my curves here. So when I was doing this section, because this is, I originally had it where I had 4 number 5s, but this was before I had them actually measured out. And I had to reduce it down to 3, which is okay. So I have it marked on my cork, so they should go like right like that. And then this one's going to go right like that. Maybe back a bit. There we go. So now this will come down if I have it curved correctly, and it goes right into, I can line it up with this track here, and then all I got to do is cut it right here and then pop it in. Bingo bango, right? I don't want to make like rocket science out of this, you know. So I need to remove 1, 2, 3. I'm going to remove 4. 4 ties here. So that's 1. What do you mean you're not cut? There we go. And I'm going to remove it right right to here. Always save your ties. Always. Well, sleepers, you know. So I'm going to line this back up here with my marks, because I've already marked the cork where everything goes. And I did this specifically earlier so that when I go to do this, it shouldn't be terrible. It shouldn't be bad whatsoever. It should be easy, right? And there's that. That's going down the center. And then snip and clip. Russ, how's it going? Welcome to the party, man. We are laying track. That's what we're doing here. What? My face was probably super close to the camera. Now, because it's on a curve, one of these is obviously going to be a little bit longer. That's okay. I just want to file flat on the front first, and then I go on the underside and I get rid of any underhang that could be there. Terrible sound. It's like nails on a chalkboard. Sorry, guys. And usually whenever I cut it, there's something always on the underside of these, and it keeps it from going inside the actual joiner itself. So when you do this, if you make sure that the bottom side is good, then you shouldn't have any issues putting that on. Okay, so take that back, and that should be straight. Okay, so before I solder that, I do want to nail this down. Whoops. And I'll have to do the same thing going that way. I don't think I'll do that today, because I'm just working on the front part here today. But at least you know, if I can do it on the front side, then I can do the exact same thing on the back side here. Okay, make sure that's centered. This is probably one of my favorite parts of model railroading too, is like, you know, laying the cork, laying the track, you know, putting in the switches, just watching everything, you know, come together really. You're deciding where these tracks are going to go and where the trains need to go and all that fun stuff. I get a kick out of this. Bench work is okay. Wiring, I wish I could skip entirely. And then like scenery stuff, I love too. Kit building and all that. Okay, that's in place, and so is that curve. Now I do want to try, I just want to see here. Now, if there are any issues, it's because these are Atlas boxcars on the front here. What did I hit? Oh, the nail, right. Duh. Where is it? Right there. Where is my... There's another one around here somewhere. I don't remember where. I'm sure I'll find it though. There it is. Told you I'd find it. I like it. It's a, you know, it's a bit of a smoother transition than some of the other ones, right? Where when you have like a, you know, a medium or a large, it's not as, you know, it's more like direct. This one's a bit cooler because it just goes off to the side a little bit. It's almost as if it's part of the curve. I like it. Does what it's supposed to. Redirects flow. Okay, gonna move back some more. You guys can watch me put some more nails in here. I think you can see me probably. All right. So I did one right there. Should probably put one here. And of course I have to come back and I have to solder this here, which I'll do once I'm done putting all these nails in to hold this all in place. Now, I'm sure I could have pre-drilled all of this before putting it down. That seems like a painful job. If I'm being honest. It does sound a little painful. Now the cool part about this is that because I've got these Ys here and they're on an angle, I'm going to start these pieces at my, you know, crossovers here or whatever I'm calling them. Turnouts. There we go. That's a real word. I'm going to start it at my turnout and then it's going to come up and it's going to go straight because it's a lot easier to connect these on a straight than it is to, you know, run a second one and then curve it into here and yeah. So I think I'm going to do it that way instead. That way I can just pinch in a piece over here if need be. which I'm pretty sure is what I'm going to have to do. And I think I also have to put some nails on this curve as well, because I do not have any nails there yet. This thing is still heating up. Mark keeps talking about end of April will be my golden spike. To be honest with you, it's more of I'm hoping by the end of the summer I'll have my main line done. Because as soon as this main line here is done, you know, yard somewhat, basically I'm going to start on my helix next. Because that's going to take up a lot of track. And once I get to the top of the helix, then I can continue on with my main line, which is obviously important because I got to be able to loop back. So that's kind of the plan for right now. Get main line on the bottom done and then do helix. So I hope to be able to do the golden spike by the end of the summer. It really depends on how things are. I'm just going to add a couple of nails here and then we will continue on. It takes a while to do all this, and much like my last layout, I'm doing most of this myself. So by all means, if anybody wants to come and help, you know where I live. Well, nobody really knows where I live. A couple of people do. But. Some of these nails suck. They have that wide end to it, and it's like you can't use it. I mean, I probably could, but kinda not feeling it right now. I don't feel like dealing with that stuff. Okay, so the next part here is the switch. Gotta figure out which end here is flat. Probably gonna have to connect it off. What you doing? Okay, so the next part here, yeah, it's this side. All right, so for my second track, I'm gonna do the same thing. But I gotta go into, wait, no, is it this one that goes into the switch? Yeah, it's this one, not that one. Why did I think it was that one? Dumb. Okay. I gotta start over. Well, not completely. Just gotta correct that, that's all. For some reason the switch was sitting there and I'm like, yeah, that's where the switch is gonna go. But it's really on this next one. So give me 1 second and we're gonna make this all better. Damn, I hate this. Okay. Get that out of the way before I confuse myself again. And then I'm going to attach this to here. So this is where I'm going to start using my ghetto blocks, as I've dubbed them. That name is copyrighted, by the way, ghetto blocks. And I'll show you in a minute how we do this thing. Okay. Was there volunteers? No? No volunteers. Depends on whether tomorrow I am an hour away via... I don't think that was to help me. I think that was for something else. Well, either way. James, you know where I live. So check this out. So when we do this section here, right? Like we've got the curve, and again I've spaced it out based off of the 2 centimeter thing here. So that'll come straight up, basically, and then I can start curving it in and around here, and then it goes straight again here. So it's just a matter of saying, okay, well, where do I want that 2 inch, I was calling it centimeter earlier. Where do I want that 2 inch thing to start here? So I think right about there should be okay. And then I just got to pin this down first. So you want to pin along as you're going. Where's my other ghetto block? Here it is. Okay. So you can see you get to a spot like this where it's like, yeah, it's a switch. I can't really do too much. So I'm going to come up on this side because that's where it's flat again. And I just got to pin it in between here. And hopefully that'll hold really well. I'm sure it will. And again, this is strictly just to keep your tracks parallel. Now, before I continue going down this way, I do want to see if I have a piece that I can just connect here. Remove this again. Will that work? Too short. Use that for something else. Okay, this one I'll only have to take a little bit off the end, which is great. Hey Ray, how's it going? Randall? We are building a yard here. And I got a ladder in. A little bit of a ladder down that way. And now I'm just connecting the tracks from the ladder up to meet the rest of the layout here. Oh, here we go. Now you can probably see better. Note to self, take Tylenol when your back hurts. Oh my gosh. Are you messing with me right now? Darn track. I don't think that one had a clean end to it. Okay, there's one. Nope. There's one and two. Okay. You know what? I'm going to end up wearing this stupid hat. Is it even bright anymore? How stupid is this? Do I look stupid? Probably. Don't answer that. I know some of these guys have the visor things with the thing on there and all that. I don't have one. I have this toque. This is the Canadian version of that. It's a toque that, you know, has a light on it. Now I gotta solder again. Lots of little soldering jobs here with this. Where's my solder? Oh, there it is. Getting back on track with Steve. That is looking pretty awesome. Looks like you brought all available track. Yeah, sorry. If anybody was looking for track, I might have it. I had to buy a handful for certain taxes, you know, kick in and everything goes up in price. Okay, so I'm just going to solder that like that. Is it on? No, of course. I'm waiting for it to heat up and it's not even powered on. You know, it's a good thing Kris isn't a government work. He's laid more track through that. Terrible. And I'm not even done yet because, you know, I still got these sections back here. I've got, yeah, there's, well, here, I'll show you. There's all this. Still got to do all this, you know, like this back section. So I've got the switches for that to do those. And I'm getting there. The back section I'm not as worried about because it's not mainline. It's obviously yard, right? Oh, it definitely takes time. Unfortunately. I have time to spare. No, but I would really like to run a train at some point this year. That'd be great. I don't mind going to the club because it's, you know, it's like home away from home, right? But I like creating things and whatchamacallit. Exactly. No, I think this this aspect of the hobby is really fun. Makes me want to get those modular layouts, and then like you know, the bench work's already done for you basically at that point, and then all you have to do is add cork and track and scenery. That's like, you know, that's right up my alley. Too bad there wasn't a way to have it already pre-wired for you too. I only sound like I'm complaining. I'm not actually complaining. Okay, so I gotta remove from here. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4. You know who has a really good series right now? If you guys are looking for a good series to watch, go check out Anthony Dodge and the Model Train Outsider. He's been talking about train stations lately, and if you've ever seen his layout, where it's like he has a lot of tracks going on, he has a pretty big station that he's working on right now. And I really enjoyed watching all of the parts to that series, and I'm sure there's still more to go, because he said he wanted to put a dome over the whole thing as well. So to me, that's like, what? Ice cream? No way. And then somebody brings by fudge sauce, and you're like, no way, fudge sauce for my ice cream. No way. So, like, you know, that's totally how I would compare it. You know, when you've got something that's really good, and then you're going to do something even better with it, which is really cool too. So, and I'm pretty sure my cut was pretty spot on there. I don't know what you guys think, but sorry about the filing. See, Code 100 is a little bit easier to like I find anyways. Code 100 is a little bit easier to deal with. And then Code 83, I would the tie would come loose from the rail, and it would bug me, you know? Just one of those things. So there's that. That's the thing as well. Let's see if I can put these on here first. Yes. Perfect. Perfection. Okay, so now what we can do, coming back to the ghetto blocks, so as I was saying, the one rail, the rail that's farthest away, which is this one, that one's already, you know, nailed down. It's this one here. We want to make sure that this one here is exactly 2 inches apart. So that's where we come in with the ghetto blocks, and we, at that point, nail everything down to match. I think my light on my hat is going out. It's not as strong as it was when I first got down here. Which basically just renders this hat as a funny looking indoor hat instead of a hat with a light that has a use and a function. Well, that was a bust. Back to my regular hat. Where did my hammer go? Darn, another one. If I'm lucky, I can get my kid back down here so that he can fill in a lot of these gaps here with ties. You know, all the sleepers that you keep. I got him to fill in the other side of the layout there for me. So he knows how to do it. And I'm so glad I don't work tomorrow. So whatever I don't do tonight, I can continue tomorrow, which is great. But you'll see that? Parallel. Cool. I do have to solder that joint. Just to make sure everything is being done, you know, correctly. It's a snug hole. It's almost like pushing it down with a thumbtack. It is holding the track down. But it's a small enough hole that I can drill down and then put the nail in, but it's still snug enough to hold it. In some cases where it doesn't catch, I do have to hammer it down a little bit just to make sure it will hold. But it is snug and it is holding the track. Now as well, I will file the top of the rail here just to make sure there's nothing like sticking up as well. But I usually come back and do that after. I don't want to bore you with that stuff. Okay, that's good, that's good. Into the curve, perfect. I think the next thing I have to do is add this switch here. And gotta see about this track. Okay, so that track comes up from there, goes to there. And what time is it? Current time is 9:18. Not bad. An hour, and I got, you know, the ladder in, the Y in, two, you know, stuff. It's a long process. back over here. All right. Hopefully you can see this. So you just want to make sure that your piece sticking out here. All my switches, by the way, on the bottom level, they're all hand throws. I don't care. I don't need machines on the bottom if I can reach it. It'd be a waste of money to get switches as a novelty, just to, you know, and I don't really plan on automating it or anything like that. Now, I still have a whole bunch of my Walther switch machines from the last layout, which I will be putting on the top part of my layout, just because some switches might be harder to reach. So it'll just be easier to automate it at that point. Just saying. Because I'm pretty sure somebody's going to ask, or somebody has asked, or will ask. Hey Kris, what about those switch machines? And to be honest, I don't have anything against them, so it's just that's how I'm planning on doing this one, you know? Kind of learning from what I did with my last layout. I mean, I would remove all the springs out of my switches, and then I would put, you know, the switch machine on there, and it's fine. You know, it works for a lot of these, you know, switches and whatnot. But when I'm dealing with a yard, I mean, a yard alone, I think I have over 20 switches right now. That means I would need over 20 switch machines. And that's $25 a piece. So you do the math. For the top, you know, might have a couple on main line here and there, and then industry. But if I can reach it with my hand, I'm just doing it as a hand throw. That's my rule here. Rail joiners are important as well. Whenever you buy track, whenever you buy switches, always make sure to get an abundance of rail joiners. Worst thing is you know, you get home after you picked up a bunch of track and whatnot, and you get through half of that box, and you're out of joiners and you're like, ah, I thought I had enough. Nope. You never have enough. That's the problem with rail joiners. You think you have enough, but you don't. Okay, so that, when we're looking at this, I cut off 2 of the tie plates on this side here of the rail, and it was strictly just because this little thing here, I don't know what you call that, the throw bar, it will come across. It doesn't touch the rail, but it would have touched, or it would have been interrupted by the little piece sticking out there. But because I cut them off, we're clear. Now I just got to figure out where I'm supposed to put this. And I'm pretty sure it's like way back here. Yeah, it's like that. I'm pretty sure. Okay, so that means I gotta remove 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 ties in here. So that's one, two, well, no, 1, 2, 3, 4. So oh, it didn't cut it. So you know the blade is getting dull. Where is... here it is. There we go. So again, with the, the blocks, we're making sure that everything is straight because it's coming straight off of here. And then I'm going to want to cut them in around here. And hopefully that fits. There we go. Adjust that a little bit. Grab my ghetto block. And even that is looking good. Cool. I should really pin this down. We're getting there. We are getting there, because this brings us into our last two tracks here, and then I've got one last track here that goes to my passenger siding. And then I think after that I call it a night. I'm not sure yet. I am not sure. Stick around for more. Okay, so what I'll do is I'm going to solder a couple of things here at the same time, because I hate turning it off, turning it on, turning it off, turning it on. So I'm just going to get a couple of things soldered here at the switch, and then it'll just make this all 10 times easier. The fun part is going to be doing the loop, and it's mostly because I'm going to have to solder like 3 or 4 of these together straight, and then I'm going to have to start at the back and then like bend it around and bring it in. Yeah, it'll be rough, I'm sure, but you know, we'll get through it. I don't know if I'll do that live. That might be a little bit more of a thing that I want to do, where I can openly swear at it when it's, you know, not doing what I want it to do. I won't make you guys suffer through that. Okay, so we're going to take off one. Okay, so I'm good to solder these 3 tracks here. Can't believe how far I've gotten here. This is awesome. Yeah, because I mean, I still have to figure out the cork and whatnot for the back section anyways. So once I do, I can put in those switches, cut that piece of track, and put the switches in for back there, and then I can continue the loop around, and then basically, yeah, my bottom level main line is done. And then it's just a matter of adding the, you know, whatchamacallits. Side tracks, or whatever they're called. The not passenger tracks, the yard tracks. Wow. I'm tired. It's been a long day. Good. Good. Now, I still haven't really figured out what I'm doing for the top level as far as industries. I have a couple of ideas, and I have a couple of industries that I can use. But I'm still not 100% yet. I think I'll know when I get to that section, but for now, I'm still working out a track plan for it. And I think that I'm getting closer to finalizing what I really want for the top level. Will I be able to fit as much as I did on my old layout? Probably not. But this is, again, a much smaller layout compared to the last one. It might be bigger in area, but smaller. I mean, the whole 2-level as opposed to 3-level is a huge change. But I think that it just means that more is going to be attainable here for me in a shorter amount of time, if that makes sense. Where I had to make 3 levels all loop, on the old layout before I could say, okay, golden spike. Which took, I'm pretty sure, 2 years to do. From the time I started to the time when I did the golden spike. I'm pretty sure that was 2 years. Where I'm not even at a year yet. And I'm basically almost done my bottom level as far as track work. I already have 1 industry in, which is neat, and that's all done. Don't know why I started that way. Oh well, there's a reason for everything, I guess. Cool. If there's anybody new watching, hello, welcome. I have been half looking at the chat, only because I'm trying to get most of this done, as you could probably imagine. And it's tough to wrangle the chat and, do this at the same time. Alright, so check this out. Ghetto blocks. Woo! Okay, so again with the whole what's keeping me from moving here? Oh, it's a nail. Found a nail. That's going to happen quite a bit here, I think. So even coming out of the switch, the curve, I think I put it back far enough that this curve here will continue just like this curve, keeping all three curves almost parallel with each other, which I think is really, I mean, for those of you who who like to see things that are symmetrical and whatnot, this will probably be one of those things where you'll be like, oh, wow, those are really straight together. Wow, that's a really small nail. Okay. I think that's like 1/3 of the size of all the rest of these nails. Don't know how that got in there. Now, if anybody's wondering, because I was wondering about it as well until I checked it, when I run the bi-level passenger cars side by each here, when I go around that big corner, none of them touch, which to me personally is amazing because they're not supposed to, and it also means I can run some longer stuff without any repercussion. Is it too uniform? Is it too, like, does it look too clean, though? That's the thing. That's what I'm worried about now. Okay, I think I can do it there. Where'd that nail go? I don't even care. It looks cool. Right, big nail. Okay, so I think I'll leave that untouched. Gosh. The more I complain about my back, the more it hurts. So I'm going to stop talking about my back. Ugh. Watching all this track work gives me the incentive to work on my layout. Go get it! It's, you know, you gotta just jump in, right? It's the only way it's gonna get done, right? Oh, that's just too short. That's a little bit. That sucks. Darn. What about this one? Oh, just... Yeah, it touches the joiner, but it's still not long enough. Boo. Okay, let's bring this one in here. So I gotta do a couple of pieces here. So I got these two here. I just gotta get these in place. I know I always say it, but the one thing I miss is being able to just put trains on for a live and then just let them run and, you know, just follow the train around or catch, almost like, you know, your rail fanning, doing that whole thing. I miss doing that. And I really want to get back to that place, that spot where I could freely run trains and then like one day, oh, you know, I'll do some, you know, scenery or whatever. And then be able to do that. Just so I can, you know, switch it up every once in a while. But unfortunately, I can't do that until I have track down. I still have to obviously add power, but oh, too far. Pulled the rail joiner right out. One piece at a time, that's all you can do. Absolutely. I'm getting real excited to see that helix come together, Mike. I tell you. It only looks scary on the outside. Once you get it up and going, you'll be like, oh really? That was it? Should have done one like a long time ago. Nothing to it. You're working on the bench work. Right on. Yeah, Russ, I'm hoping that this is the last one for a while. You know, I agree with you. It's a pain to have to start over. But I've learned so much, though. You know what I mean? So I'm not trying to take the negative side of it. You know, I'm trying to remember, you know, like, there's so many different things and aspects. And I know you guys remember me saying, hey, you know, if I ever did this again, you know what I'd do? And I'm making those changes. I'm trying to grow with it and trying to do better every single time I do this, you know. A big part of it is, you know, when I would watch Denny, and he had the Toronto layout, even with the old layout that he had before he decided to rebuild. Doing the whole Toronto-based layout was it was very inspiring. And I'm like, I've always wanted that, you know, and mine might not be directly Toronto, but it really fits how I'm going to be running the trains here. So it's almost what I want, but it'll do. And the fact that my train goes through my office, because I work from home still since 2020, March of 2020. So I've been at home for 5 years now, working from home. And, you know, still working on trains between, you know, calls and all that. And people always ask me, they're like, why do you get so much done, like, in such a short amount of time? And it's, well, because I work from home. That's all it is, right? When I'm not working, I'm doing this. I mean, the kids are in school all day anyways, so it's not like I'm missing out on anything there. So that's fine. But, yeah, typically my day is mixed with work and then chipping away at the layout when I can. But I've been holding back a little bit lately because I do want to do some of this live so I can show you guys how I do some of what I do. Probably shouldn't do it like this. Should put them both on one side. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. Okay, let's get this piece in here. Okay, so that's the last one there. So that means I can do one definitely here. Where'd it go? I dropped a nail. Oh, there it is. And I can't even pick it up. I need a magnet or something to pick that up. Come on. Ugh. Okay. Well, that's gone forever. Mike, you couldn't work from home anyways. You can't fit a crane in there. I know. Terrible jokes. That's what you get. 9 o'clock at night. It's 9 p.m. Kris. That's when the jokes come out and they're terrible. One more piece of track. Do I even do this one tonight? I don't even know. It's just the passenger track. I say that like I should be taking it lightly. It's just the passenger track. That's all. That's all it is. Only. Just gonna, because it's, there we go. Okay, so I just gotta solder those pieces, and then I can figure out this. Why does that do that? Is that accurate? It needs to go that way. There. Better. Now I just gotta solder those. Who knew it would take this long just to install 4 tracks? I did. I knew this would take precisely this long. So, yeah, like I said, I am hoping that this is a layout that I will have for a while. Good news about the old house, and I remember telling you guys that, you know, they kind of abruptly told us to leave and all that stuff. Well, that's all been settled, so that's good. They were incorrect, and we were correct, so that's good. Regardless, you know, moved on, so So I don't think that'll happen again, but, you know, never say never. Just kind of take it one day at a time. I know we do plan to buy at some point, but it won't be in the next year. So I think I'm good. I think I can finish this layout, and then we can buy a house or something. Oh, there's that waterfall again. Very mystical. Very mystical. And I'm going to give you the long shot of this this yard here once I get this other piece in, and that way you can see how aligned the tracks are, I guess you could say. How aligned they are. Now this one here, because this is separate from this is not 2 inches here, so I couldn't. I think it's about 3. Yeah, it would have to be. It's a little bit over 2. It's probably about 2.5. But I won't be able to use this here when I do this track. So it's not a big deal though. It's a single track just by itself, so should be okay. So again, once I figure out where everything's going to go as far as the reversing section, I'll just cut it in, and then I'll make sure that the ties are nailed down pretty good on both sides of where the rail is cut. That way there's no movement. And then I'll put a isolated joiner in there as well. Alrighty. So I'm gonna leave that on for a second because I gotta figure out what piece here is long enough, which is this one. Actually, maybe I can take one of these little ones. Oh wait, no, I think I already went through this. They do not fit. None of these here fit, so I gotta use this one here. So I'm going to have to file this down. I mean, even from that view, the track looks pretty good. You know, bird's eye view. just pull that joiner a little bit out. Well, either way, I think it'll be okay. I just gotta cut. Yeah, definitely have to file the top of that. Yeah, don't forget, Monday nights, we still have James and Trackside Mike. They always put on a great show every Monday, 7 o'clock. So make sure if you don't already subscribe to them, go subscribe to them. And also big congrats to James for hitting 1,000 subscribers. It's about time. On behalf of the entire community, it's about time. Jeez, it's such a process. I remember getting to 1,000 and I was like, I thought I would never get there. I didn't even think I'd get 100, let alone 1,000. It's crazy. Rail joiners. Regular wire cutters for track. That's not a wire cutter. I don't know what that's for. It's like a heavy duty. If I go through another pair of regular rail cutters for code 100, yeah, I don't know. They're they still make them like they used to. So when I found these, and they were cutting the track a lot easier, I find that some rail snippers, they smush the track. They don't cut it. these actually clip the whole thing and it doesn't smush it. It just gives me enough here that I can file a little bit, and then as long as the rail joiner goes on. And these cuts are pretty clean too. Like, I don't have much room between my joints here. Like, there's a little bit, but not a lot. There we go. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Now I just gotta drill them down. Can't see because there's no light. There it is. Tiny hole. Okay. Okay. Solder this last part. Thanks, Ryle. Watch for the layout update. I'm sure it'll be a little bit more look at this instead of watching me do this. No, look at what I have done versus look at what I'm doing. Ta-da! That's how I present things from now on. I just say ta-da. Oh, you can't even see what I'm doing. I have it on the face view. Oh, that's embarrassing. Okay, let me switch that. Let's go over to here. That way, do this whole thing. So to be able to really see this, I'm going to take this off. And so you can kind of see, like it all looks, you know, like it's supposed to. But yeah, that's what I've been working on. I think I might just do this one last one just to say I did it, and I'll be able to sleep pretty decently tonight. Whoops. Sorry. Totally kicked the tripod. Okay, so same thing for this here. I'm going to get rid of the two little pieces sticking out here. The ties. There we go. Oh, totally unplugged it. That's what I get. My thing is, even with this here, I can't really like bring trains and park them on here still, because as soon as I'm doing the electrical, I don't want anything on the tracks whatsoever. I don't want anything that could cause a short or throw anything off here, because I know it's going to be a pain just to deal with that. So to get rid of one less thing, you know, like just nothing on the track there, you know. One less thing to worry about. So I don't know if I mentioned or not, but when I do the helix, it's done a little bit differently. I glue everything down, just because of the fact that I'm going upwards on a circle, and each one of those curves it's like a floating shelf. I do not want to hammer it in any sort of way. So I'll just glue the track for that. I don't want to open up a full new piece if I don't have to. These are a couple of scrap pieces. Maybe I can make something like a filler piece with these. I'm sure I'm using more joiners, but I'd rather use up joiners and not have track go to waste. You won't even know anyways once these are on here. I'm just going to push the ties up a bit here as well. There we go. Sorry again about the noise. Just gotta make sure these will fit in the joiners. And that one's of course gonna give me a hard time, why not? Sure. Okay, that's a lot better. I hope. I can only hope. It's either it's gonna work or it's not. Okay, so that one's in, good. And so is that one. Okay, perfect. Nice. Okay, so that means I just gotta cut here. So I'm gonna take off one, two, three. Okay, those are good, those are good. So I just gotta clip these. do have to take a bit off that one there. Thought I got it spot on. I got one spot on. See, the funny thing is that they're not parallel at all, so it's not like I can cut them in a straight line here. But that'll work. That'll work indeed. Cool. So now I just have to take that off. And then file these down. And then solder the 3 joints and it should be good. One real joiner fits, but this one doesn't. So I'm going to solder that first. Might as well do this one. Without ruining anything, I need to see if I can get this onto here. That. It's on. Woo! Okay. Party. And nothing's broken. Fantabulous. This is best case scenario, I think. You know what I mean? Like, haven't really messed up too bad here, so I call it a win. I think. Yeah, that looks alright. I mean, it's pretty solid coming in off that switch. Curve's okay. Would be really good for these longer passenger cars too. So. Mark doesn't know what he's missing. No more soldering. Did too much soldering tonight. Okay, so all I got left to do is put a couple of nails in. They don't need to be fancy because this is, because I said so. Actually, that was my answer for everything. Because I said so. Oh, how great would that be? Okay, coming in off here. Where's the last nail? Right there, I think. Yeah. So that's the last one. We can put one here. We can put one. Home stretch now. It is a little bit faster when you don't have to line up tracks with more tracks and whatnot, but when you want them to look nice, you know, kind of have to do that. But that's part of it, I guess. Oh, also, because this is yard, I didn't really super elevate anything. I know that you were all wondering that too. Nope, it's just flat. let's take one last look at it here, because we've done all the way from the start of the yard. So this is where the Y is, you know, it goes around that way. Done all the way up and around. Put this up here for now. And yeah, it comes all the way over here. So, that being said, I got pretty far, because all of these are down, from all the way at the other end, all the way down to right, you know, right here. That's a spicy meatball right there. So, I'm pretty happy that I got all this done. And, yeah, those are all thrown. Well, congratulations to me. Ugh. My back is killing me, guys. Oh my gosh. Don't get old. Yeah, it's nap time. Nap time for James. Hey, Willow Creek, how's it going? I'll be building kits for the next few weeks, plus stuff around the house. James is busy. He's a busy guy. Oh, take a look at this. Did you see this going across here? That's, I'm getting ready. A layout for me isn't a layout unless there's a duck under that I have to avoid every time I have to go to and from work every day. So, yeah, I gotta put that in. But, that means that, you know, as soon as I get to the top of the helix, that's where I'm coming off right there. So, getting closer to the second level. Day by day, and doing this yard, getting the main line done, getting this reversing section done. It's just one step closer to being able to run trains again, and one step closer to, you know, doing some building on the top part. Yeah. Well, this is me in a chair, by the way. Remember I was telling you about how I can sit in a chair and work at the layout? Well, this, yeah, that's how high it is. It's basically desk height. This is actually a little bit higher than this, maybe by a full 2x4. But yeah. Oh yeah, my son moved his Lego thing that was right here. This is all just going to be regular, but he got more track, and I extended his layout like that way. So I'll show you guys that in the next layout update. Other than that, I kind of took a back seat with the lives on Saturdays. I was doing the Saturday night kit builds, Rail Talk. I haven't done one in a little bit, mostly because working on kits right now hasn't really been the priority. But I will get back into that eventually, and I do want to do another group kit build at some point, but we'll see where that takes us. I do want to get another ITLA kit, so that means more wood kits. So hopefully I'll be able to do a wood kit build again sometime soon. I know it's very hard in the winter time because I do a lot of spray painting and I can't spray paint inside. So I have to rely on good weather, or at least warmer weather, and to be able to spray paint. So that's why really doing that stuff in the wintertime just doesn't work for me, because I naturally just can't. I can't do it because it's like, you know, I'm inside. So we'll see, but yeah. Papa John, yeah, this is, I moved. I moved last April? No, June or July. I moved last July, something like that. So I know it's probably, if it's been a minute since you've seen, I had to move. So I took that layout down. What basically happened was that I took most of it apart in module form. So a lot of the build that I've done so far is taking a lot of those pieces and then reconstructing it in a way to fit this space. Now, this room here, like this was all wide open. This is an unfinished basement. And I built an office. So that's my office back there because I work from home. And one of the things I always wanted to do was run a train through my office. You know, I never thought I'd have an office at home, but you know, here I am. So there, yeah, you can see there's kind of like a little hole in the wall over there behind the bridge scene, and the trains go through there. My paper mill is in there, and then it goes around, goes behind or under my computers, my work computers, and then comes out this way to my helix. And I've got to build my helix still, obviously, but yeah, and it's going to go up and then go across here, and then yeah. So I've been busy, and I think I've gotten a lot done considering it hasn't even been a year yet, and I'm already like, my yard is, you know, being built, and I'm doing a totally different theme this time around. Last time I was centering my layout around North Bay, Ontario. This time I'm centering it around Mac Yard, which is, it goes through North York. It's like Toronto area, I guess. There's several bridges that go across it, but the yard is huge. I'm pretty sure it even has a hump yard to it. There's a whole hump section, but I've dumbed it down. So I took part of the yard where there's the CN maintenance facility, and then I took another part of it which is just like the tracks, right, where you just your storage and whatnot. I've really dumbed it down, and now it's in the shape of an L. And I even added a passenger station because I needed a passenger station down here. The actual Mac Yard does not have a passenger station, though they should probably. Yeah, so you're going to have like a bridge at this end, which is a major highway going over it. Another bridge here going over the yard, and then another one over here. And then in between is obviously where you're doing all your work, all your switching of cars, and then obviously mainline runs through it as well. I do have a reverse section back here, which will basically send trains back this way. Yeah, there's a lot. I did a lot of planning for this. I've had to change the plan a few times as well. But I'm getting the Toronto layout that I've been kind of wanting for a while, so that's good. And I can run a good mix of passenger and freight, tankers, box cars. Eventually I do want to get well cars. I think I only have like one or two right now, but I'd like to get more well cars to do an intermodal. And yeah. Yep. There's a local, local service where, there's small drop-off sections for like box cars and all that. And then, switching them out in the yard, you can take them wherever else. What else? There's a huge bridge. Well, I wouldn't say it's a huge bridge, but it goes across, 13 or 14 lanes of highway, and it's a single track bridge, and it's near Ajax, Ontario, and it starts on this side of the highway and it goes on a diagonal right across, and I think there's 7 bridges total, 7 or 8, And each bridge is a different type of bridge just to make it across this 13-lane highway. And I want to try to reconstruct that bridge, or, you know, like simile. And it's going to be right up here, because I got to even go over some tracks, just like that actual bridge does, over some GO tracks, which will go through the wall there into the maintenance facility for GO Transit, which is actually in Whitby, which is that I built a big engine facility, which is supposed to be the shops for the Whitby GO Transit shops thing. It's late. I'm tired. So that's cool. Still have so much to do. I do have to add lighting under here, under this side, because I just built most of this past month. So I'm going to get on that as well, and hopefully make it a little bit brighter down here. Other than that, I hope everybody had fun tonight. I know it's kind of tedious watching somebody put track down, but I feel like I got a lot accomplished, and I still have so much more to do. Oh my gosh. So I'm going to be at this for a while. But for tonight, that's it. Don't forget, every Thursday night, we're always live. First Thursday of the month is Denny and Scale Dystopia, so be over on his channel next Thursday at 8 o'clock. Then come back in 2 weeks, because I'll still be here, probably still chipping away at this. And then in 3 weeks, the third week in April, go check out M&M Rails, and then we'll be back here next month on GVO After Dark, where we continue to talk about the hobby, talk about trains, and everything else about that. Something like that. Will I use cement ties? I don't know. That seems like a future layout type thing. Because, like, I know that they're starting to switch out a lot of these wood ties in areas. Most of these are wood ties in this yard. But when I start doing the GO Transit line, it's more concrete ties. I just don't like going back and forth. I just, it's too much in a sense. And then, you know, what do I do about the switches, right? The switches, all I've seen are wooden laid switches, wooden tie switches. So I don't know. It's hard to say. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it, but I think I'll probably end up sticking with the wood ties, just because it is easier, for now anyways. Again, when I do that forever layout, it'll probably be something that I take into consideration, and I have my dedicated track just for passenger, and you know, that'll be something that I look into. Well guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm GVO or Go Home, and I have a train to catch, so we'll see you later. Have yourselves a great night, and go run a train. Go do it. I can't, so go run one for me.